I once walking home on my phone and I kind of lost my balance with the uneven pavement because I wasn't paying attention. And I fell into a bush and I was like, oh, sorry. And that was the first time I realized that I'm actually turning British. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hickson Diaries, where we talk about my life as an American living here in the UK. And today we're diving into the ever so subtle art of British survival techniques. Now, I'm not talking about surviving the weather, although that is its own challenge here in Great Britain. However, I am talking about how Brits emotionally survive bad situations as compared to what we do in the United States. Whether it's a train delay, a breakup, or accidentally making contact on the tube, the British have their own unique way of coping. So let's break it down. Apologies when it's not your fault. So in America, if someone bumps into you with a shopping cart, you might shoot them a look and you might have something snide to say. Here in the UK, you would say you're sorry. No, not the person who was pushing the shopping cart. You would say you're sorry, even if you're the one who just got body checked by that trolley. Once walking home on my phone and I kind of lost my balance with the uneven pavement because I wasn't paying attention. And I fell into a bush and I was like, oh, sorry. And that was the first time I realized that I'm actually turning British. I swear to God, it's a true story. You can judge me all you want, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Saying sorry did actually make me feel a little bit better, even though I was only kind of saying it to myself. It's kind of like a reset button here in the UK. Like if someone ruins your day, you say sorry. And you might even do it in a sarcastic way, but you still say sorry. The British don't just survive bad situations. They apologize their way through them. I think it's a coping mechanism that just kind of is a release valve almost. It just, by saying you're sorry, you're almost just kind of unburdening yourself of whatever just happened. Grabbing a pint at the pub. Americans drink, but we kind of drink to party and celebrate or to distract ourselves and get away. Brits use going to the pub or grabbing a pint as their own form of therapy. I'm dead serious about it. You have a rough day at work? Go grab a pint. Cat ran away? Go grab a pint. Got ghosted? Double pint, maybe an all-nighter. Here in the UK, going to your local pub is almost as important as breathing. It's each pub has its own unique history and has its own very specific vibe. So when you find your local pub, it almost feels like coming home. Well, you know what you're going to get. You're going to have your favorite beer, or they're going to have a good atmosphere, or anything to just distract you from the bad day that you're having. British pubs aren't just about drinking, and drinking in the UK isn't just about drinking and partying, celebrating, or getting drunk. Going to the pub and having a pint is a sacred space for venting, for decompressing, pretending everything's fine while sitting next to a roaring fire when it's cool outside, or sitting out in the beer garden when it's nice out, avoiding contact with everyone else and just sitting and stewing in your own discomfort and annoyance for a few minutes, and then apologizing as you walk out the door. Sitting down to a proper cup of tea. Okay, it's no secret that tea is like the holy grail here in the UK. It is the cure all, and the one thing that Brits will always offer you in any situation. And I'm not using that metaphorically. Car broke down, have a cup of tea. Broke your arm, have a cup of tea. Then we'll go to the doctors. Let's put the kettle on before we do anything else. That's usually the mantra. But here's the thing, it's not really about the actual tea. It's about the ritual. It's about sitting down, taking a few minutes, taking a breather, just kind of getting yourself together, getting control of your emotions so that you know whatever your next step is, or being able to just unleash your emotions and let them out so that you can figure out what, the best solution is to whatever your problem is. It gives you something to do besides just focusing mainly on whatever is bothering you or whatever's just happened that you're dealing with. Stir some sugar into a cup of PG tips. It becomes a form of meditation. The worse the situation is, the more proper that cup of tea needs to be. If you can master this, then you can master almost anything here in the UK. When Brits are faced with any kind of uncomfortable situation or awkward moment, You can never go wrong with a sarcastic, understated comment. This is one of my favorite things because I just find it very, very hilarious. Americans would say something like, "This is a disaster," and they'd be super animated and then, over the top about it. Where Brits will be like, "Well, that's not ideal. Fell into a river? Yeah, I got wet today, didn't I?" That's it. They would just move on. They would laugh it off. They'd go have a cup of tea. They'd go to the pub for a pint. They'd probably apologize to the river for falling in it. This kind of dry, deadpan sarcasm is extremely British, and it's how the Brits quietly scream into the void. Is definitely second nature here. It's a little bit dark, but brilliant at the same time. And once you start doing it, you can't stop. I've found that British people just use sarcasm more often than they're straightforward here. I still have issues with determining whether or not they're being serious or whether they're taking the piss. This next one, I feel like, has to be the absolute pinnacle of Britishness. They'll complain about whatever the crisis is, but they'll do what they have to do anyway. Here's the thing: British people love a good moan. And I mean, love a good moan more than they love pubs, more than they love tea, and more than they love saying they're sorry. But as much as they moan, they're still going to do whatever the thing is that they have to do, whatever the thing is that they're moaning about. Now, it is entirely possible, especially if it's a crisis situation, that they're going to moan about every single step and they're going to moan about every single thing that they do. But it's also kind of endearing in a really weird, I don't know another word to describe it. It's just a very, very strange way. It is a little bit endearing. Oh, I got to go out in the rain, and they're just going to go out in the rain without an umbrella or a raincoat or a hood. Hate the trains, still going to take the train to work. Hate Christmas shopping, still going to do it. Just maybe a little more loud and maybe a little more sarcastic as well. And then stop into the pub for a pint on the way home. Complaining is all part of the British experience. What took me a long time to figure out is it's not really negative per se. It's more if it's just kind of like a communal collective moan. It's kind of how they bond here, how you cope and how you survive. You moan about it, but you just keep going and carry on. So, if you ever find yourself in a tough spot in the UK, just remember, say sorry, even if it doesn't make any sense. Go to the pub and drink your feelings. Make a cup of tea like it's a sacred ritual. Use sarcasm like a stealth weapon and complain, but carry on anyway. It's not just surviving, it's surviving the British way. I hope you guys got something out of this. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. Thanks so much. Stay safe out there. I'll see you next time.